Good day, gorgeous friends on the internet. Welcome back to this YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be making a video on a model that I actually fell in love with. So, for most of you would have guessed right. It is DeepSeek. DeepSeek is actually a game changer. It is one of the best large language model out there today, and one of the most interesting aspect of DeepSeek is that DeepSeek is actually open source, which means you can actually download the entire model weight into your system and run it locally. That means if you have to compute. But anyways, in today's video, I'm going to show you an easy way to implement DeepSeek into your application. Okay, so but before that, I want to tell you some things, like some of the things about DeepSeek you should actually put into consideration. Okay, DeepSeek is actually a Chinese model, which means, yeah, there can be some privacy concerns, but apart from that, privacy bullshit. Okay, so let me show you one of the interesting things about DeepSeek. So DeepSeek is actually open source, which means you can actually see how you can actually learn how DeepSeek architecture works and how it was actually built. So, and one of the interesting thing about DeepSeek is that they actually have the research paper open source, which means that you can actually go on platforms like Archive to see like the architecture of DeepSeek, how it was built, and some of the training techniques they have used. And some of the training techniques they have used basically is like a game changer. And again, DeepSeek also cost like at least DeepSeek R1 actually cost I think $5 million to train, which is crazy compared to OpenAI, that literally spent over like $1 billion just building the whole series. Okay. With that being said, let's go and let's just see some of the DeepSeek V3 capabilities. So you can see when it comes, you can see the benchmarks here. So benchmark metric, you can see in terms of architecture, you can see they use the more architecture, and yeah. So again, one of the things that actually interests me about DeepSeek is that DeepSeek actually surpassed OpenAI R1 series in terms of math and coding, which is crazy. Like again, an open source model is actually actually supersedes like closed model when it comes to math and math science and even coding, like which is like really like which is actually like a game changer. So you can sense I'm actually really excited for this. Okay, so let me show you something really cool about DeepSeek. So if we come to replicate, you can see this benchmark. So you can see like the different benchmark metrics they use. You can see code 46, you can see math, you can see SUI benchmark. So you can actually see that this model is actually a really good model. And one thing that is scary about this model is how ridiculous the pricing is. This is actually very, very cheap. Okay, so if you come to the pricing, you can see for 1 million tokens, like input for 1 million token is $10, and output for 1 million token is also $10. Again, note that replicates would have added some of their own pricing as well, which is like quite understandable. But DeepSeek is actually like really, really cheap, like ridiculously like cheap. Okay, so with that being said, let me show you how to implement DeepSeek the easiest way. Okay, the easiest way possible to implement DeepSeek is using repositories that host open source models like Replicate and Hugging Face. But I prefer to use Replicate in most applications I work on, and I've used Replicate in some of the biggest applications I worked on. Like when I'm talking about some of the biggest projects, I mean I've worked on like a project that actually makes over like 500K a month using replicate, and some of the replicate model we are the key models that actually powered that application, just to show you how reliable replicate is. Okay, so apart from using replicate, you can use Hugging Face, of course, or if you don't want to use Hugging Face, you can actually like use all these other services like Azure and like and other services that actually support replicate that actually support DeepSeek R1. So, but we're gonna be using replicate anyways. So yeah, so once you head over to replicate, you have to create an account. So there's the spelling replicate. Sorry, um replicate.com. So once you're in replicate.com, create an account if you don't already have an account. So once you create an account, you're gonna see this section here, your profile. Just click on it and click on API tokens. So once you click on API tokens, what is wrong with my network? Okay, I just switched network very fast. Okay, so once you just click on API tokens, you're gonna see a default token. I deleted it. Yeah, but you're gonna see a default API token. So you can always create an API token. You can just give it a random name and click on create to create it. Then after that, you're gonna copy the API token, and you're going to just add the API token into your virtual environment, into your environment. Sorry. So for this tutorial, we're gonna be using Python. So you can see I have my .env here, and I've added my API token here. Also, you should also pay close attention to the variable name. So you can manually specify the variable name inside the constructor of replicate. But once you actually use this as that environmental variable name, you don't have to manually specify what's the name of the what is the name of the API token, like what name is using in the virtual environment. Okay, so now what I'm going to do next, let me put in this for you. So it's to create a main.py file. Okay, so I also want you to know that I'm using a virtual environment. For those of you who know what virtual environment is just like a container that you use to put every single packages and assets you are using to work on an application for easy deployment. And another thing you should also know about virtual environment is virtual environment actually makes it very easy for you to deploy your application. And with virtual environment enabled, you are not going to conflict any existing packages, or any existing packages you basically use on other projects. So okay, so if you're marked to enable virtual environment or to create a virtual environment, you have to do just probably specify sudo virtual. You have to first grant grant this for you have to allow read and writes to this particular folder, and to do this you have to do this. So and then you enter your password. Then what you need to do is to install pip install virtual env, and then so let's just do this again. I already have virtual env, so it has been installed. So now to create a virtual environment, you have to say virtual env, then the name of the environment. In my own case, I love using venv, so you can see. So then create it. Once you create it, to activate it, all you have to do is say sudo source and venv /bin/activate, and that's it. So that's a way to actually activate your virtual environment. So once you activate it, it means that everything you do is going to be inside that virtual environment, and it's going to make your life way more easier to deploy. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so next thing we need to do is say pip install replicate. So we are installing the replicate package, the replicate SDK. So I've already installed this. It should take a few seconds to install. So after that, what we need to do is come to the search bar and search for DeepSeek R1. So once you click on DeepSeek R1, yeah, you're gonna see this. So let me let's test this. Um, Explain gravitational field to a second grader. Okay, so yeah, let's test this. You can see it actually shows us like what's like this. The reason why this is really cool is that I don't know if you understand the significance of this model, you're going to be really excited. This model actually shows you how it thinks. It also returns how it thinks, which is like really amazing. OpenAI doesn't do this. OpenAI should be called Close AI. I don't know why in the hell they are calling it OpenAI. So you can see it shows you this the thinking. It's put it inside a thinking tag, so you can see the thinking process, and then it gives you a reply, and then gives you the actual answer after thinking, which is really cool. You can see, all right, let's break down. It's fun and all this. Okay, so that's it. You can see tokens per second is 20. Like let's just say approximately 20.4 tokens per second. The input token is 8. The output token is 825, which is like really amazing. Okay, so to implement this, you're going to click on API tab here, and then you're going to grab this. We already have this set, and we already installed this. So we're going to choose Python. If you are using JavaScript, you can just choose Node.js. But we're going to use Python. We have installed this. Then what we just need to do is copy this. Copy this code and just paste. And basically that's all you need to do. You can see how sorry, I don't want to use that word. You can see how simple this is. Okay, so what we are doing is, so let me just load in, let me just install. We also need .env, install .env. So what .env does is that allows you to load environmental, like your virtual environment, into your main file. So in our case, it will allow us to load all the environmental variables into our application. So it's installing. So while it's installing, let me explain what this code does. So we have this object here, and you can see you have the key is the prompt, and the value is what you actually want the model to do. You can see you can change this to explain big O notation. No, not big zero notation, big O notation. Okay, autocomplete said in 100 words. Okay, let's try this. This is gonna be fun. Okay, what happened? Say sudo info. Is it .env? Am I mistaken? Let me look. Let me see. Okay, you know what? Let's just leave it and run this code. Just say sudo main.py. Oh, tells me wrong. I use Python. Say Python main.py. Oh, you can see it failed, and the reason why it fails is because we don't have .env. So I just wanted to illustrate this. So I'm just gonna say sudo pip install. Let me look this up quickly. So pip sync.env or py.env, python.env. Okay, sorry, that's the installation. Python.env. Okay, so all you just have to do is say python.env. So yeah, that's installed. Okay, so what we're gonna do is say from .env import load.env, and then we'll come here and call it. Then we'll call load.env. So once we call it, it's actually going to initialize like all these environmental variables into our main.py file. Okay, So now let's run this again. I'm gonna say Python main.py and thinking. You can see this dude is actually thinking. Okay, I need to explain beyond notation. You can see what he's thinking. Okay, so let's just wait for this. You can see it has finished thinking and then gives you the result. And okay, so it actually gives you in like a format that is going to work for your markdown. So if you are using like React, so you can use React Markdown to actually like structure the output a bit. So yeah, so that's it. So this is the easiest way possible for you to use Replicate. One of the easiest way possible for you to use Replicate. So if you like this kind of video, please do subscribe. And if you have any questions, please feel free to tell me any like questions you have. And if there's something you don't like about this video and if there's something you think I missed, please, I would really appreciate you telling me down in the description so I could improve and also correct any mistake I might have made. So with that being said, I'm gonna see you in the very next video. Peace.